Hi. I might sound a little funny. I decided today I would read in a silly place, and I'm actually reading in my shower, not while the water is going. But I thought it would be fun. It's fun sometimes to do different things when you're reading just to make it exciting and new. So we are on the last chapter of our book. Mrs. Meyer is on fire. I've loved reading it with you, and I'm so excited. I've got new books planned for after spring break that I'm going to keep reading with you. I hope that you're really enjoying them. If you have any book ideas, you could send them to me. Remember, if you go to that Google spot on your portal, there's a little button that says Google Mail. And if you click it, you can actually go to your emails where I send you things, and you can send me something as well. I don't know if I'll have the book available because it's kind of what I can find and get a hold of, but I'm always willing to take suggestions. Okay, so this week, I know that I said to work on synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms, same. Antonyms, opposite words. We've gone over it. It should be a review. And in our book, we've been doing some inferencing, reading between the lines, figuring out what it's really telling us, and some predicting, some smart guesses on what would happen. So we're to the end of our book now. And remember, we left off with, it said the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. But he teased us and said he wasn't going to tell us until the last chapter. So here we go. We get to find out. There's a stampede of hippos. There's my prediction. Probably not the smartest guess because I don't know where the hippos would come from, but I'm feeling silly, so why not? Chapter 11, Mrs. Meyer gets fired. Mrs. Meyer had her eyes closed, so she didn't see what happened next, but I did. The banner that said Happy Birthday Mrs. Meyer had been tied to the fire pole on the second floor. I guess it wasn't tied very tightly. This is why it's good to learn to tie things like your shoes. Because it slowly started to slide down. It was coming down right over the cake. The banner touched the candles on the cake. The candles lit the banner on fire. Here you go. There you go. Banner, candles, catching banner on fire. Eek! Went all the girls. It's on fire! Ryan shouted. Call the fire department, I shouted. This is the fire department, shouted Andrea. Then call the police department, I shouted. The banner was burning up. Everybody started yelling and screaming and shrieking and hooting and hollering and generally freaking out. Remember that little asterisk? It looks almost like a little star or a snowflake. That means we have a footnote. So we travel down to the foot of the page and we find that little matching asterisk right there. And I'm going to read it. And then we're going to go right back up where it left off. Want to laugh your head off? Ask a parent if you can go on YouTube. Then search for Fire Marshal Bill and watch the videos with Jim Carrey. They are hilarious. So here's the deal. They're really funny. I'm going to link one in your email so that you can click it and it will take you right to that YouTube video. It is hilarious. Jim Carrey is the actor and he plays Fire Marshal Bill, and oh, what a hoot. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, here we go. Back to where we left off. Help, shouted Neil. Run for your lives. Get the hose, shouted one of the firefighters. The hose is on fire, shouted another firefighter. The firehouse is on fire, I shouted. The banner was going up in flames and some of the letters had burned up. Instead of reading Happy Birthday Mrs. Meyer, all that was left was hair dye. Get a fire extinguisher, somebody yelled. Mrs. Meyer is on fire. Do you see this right here? By the way, that's the cat. He would like to come into the shower and enjoy the book too. Charlie, no. Here we go. It was true. Part of the banner had landed on Mrs. Meyer's pants, and now they were on fire too. Stop, drop, and roll, shouted Andrea. Fall and crawl, shouted Alexia. Get low and go, shouted Ryan. Don't hide, go outside, shouted Neil. Toasty brown all around, I shouted. The firefighters squirted that foamy stuff all over Mrs. Meyer until they put her out. The only problem was that now the cake was on fire. The cake's on fire, somebody shouted. Shoot It was true. Flames were coming out of the frosting. What's up with that? Who ever heard of a cake that caught on fire? That cake must have been made with gasoline or something. There were sirens screaming and lights flashing. Smoke was everywhere. The firefighters were shooting fire extinguishers and hoses all over the place. Everybody was slipping on goopy cake and falling all over the floor. What a mess! It was hilarious, and we got to see it live and in person. Finally, after 1,100,000 minutes, the firefighters put the fires out. We all wished Mrs. Meyer a happy birthday and left the firehouse. In the end, we didn't get to eat any cake. Again. Man, I hate birthdays. Especially birthdays when you don't get any cake. Bummer in the summer. Well, that's pretty much what happened. Maybe next year, Crybaby Emily will get to eat some birthday cake. Maybe they'll put trampolines in our class instead of desks. Maybe Mr. Cooper will use his supervision to shoot microwave freezing rays out of his eyes. Maybe we'll eat Mr. Klutz's melon head. Maybe I'll get to pee on another campfire. Maybe Mrs. Meyer will stop telling bad jokes, destroying smoke detectors, and jumping out of windows. Maybe they'll start a TV channel where they just bust stuff up all day long. Maybe firefighters will stop naming their children after hoses. Maybe my mom will start cutting the crust off my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Maybe bears will stop running into our school. Maybe I'll melt the face off another one of my action figures. Maybe they'll make some smoke detectors in the shape of a nose. Maybe I can talk my parents into putting a fire pole in our house. But it won't be easy. And that's the end of our book. Yay! Remember, this book is from the My Weirdest School series. There are a lot of these books. This is a great one if you're interested in getting books. Any of these books are fun. They have great funny jokes. They have the footnotes you get to practice. This one even told us about a cool video that you're going to get to go watch about Fire Marshal Bill. I highly recommend them. I hope that you enjoy your spring break this coming week. I also included on your email a little, I don't know, it's almost like a fun reading scavenger hunt where you get to do different reading activities and check them off. So you don't have to do it, but I thought if you're at home, it could be a fun thing to do. Some of them are quite silly. I'm going to see how many of them I can check off. I don't know if there's one about reading in a shower. I'm going to have to check. If there is, I've done that. All right, kiddos. I love you. I'm here for you. I miss you all. And I wish you a great break, and I will see you after. Bye, guys.